Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Nidhi and today I'm telling you my Indian Readathon TBR. By the time you're watching this, the Indian Readathon has already begun. It started Saturday, August 15th and it runs until Saturday, August 22nd. That's only for this year. Next year we're definitely changing the dates. So if you haven't heard, I launched it. You can check out my most recent previous video and that explains all the prompts, the challenges, and different questions people had. So I'll link it down below and I'll link my lovely co-hosts Anisha and Rue's video down below as well. Basically, it's a week-long readathon just to highlight Indian authors, celebrate Indian culture, and just read books with Indian characters in it. And I just want to thank you for how positively it's been received. I've seen so many TBRs, I've seen so many posts and blogs, and if you created a video, please comment it down below here, or comment it on my last video, or tweet Indian Readathon on Twitter, or use the hashtag Indian Readathon. I'm trying to create like a whole playlist of all the Indian Readathon videos, at least I've seen, but if I happen to miss yours, it is completely by accident, so please let me know and I will put it in that playlist. And I would 10 out of 10 recommend you to check out that playlist. It is amazing. Every time I see it, my heart goes like a little bit bigger. And before I begin any part of this video, I want to direct you to the Indian Readathon info doc below and the possible Indian books doc below, and in our Twitter bio there are organizations you can donate to acid attack victims and survivors in India. Acid attacks are very common in India and in fact rapidly increasing, and we wanted to do something good this readathon, so if you have the means to donate and you just want to help in some way, shape, or form, so please consider donating. And before I begin talking about the books that I want to talk about for this readathon, I would like to direct you to Indian Readathon's Twitter yet again. Over there we have a thread of other possible Indian readathons you can participate with throughout the year. It's my fault in the first video for not highlighting and uplifting those existing readathons. We should be diversifying our literature all year, and if readathons help you do that, then why not participate in as many as you can? So you can check out Diversathon, Indian Litathon, it's all on there. And there's like a short blurb for each readathon if it interests you to participate or not. All of these readathons are so different, they have different prompts and they have obviously different people running them and different methods you can do to participate. Alright, now for the TBR, I have 5 books chosen, and that sounds like a lot, and you are correct, it is a lot. But we are overachieving on this channel, and did you expect anything better from me? Because the answer is no, please don't expect that anymore. The first book I will be reading for the Indian Readathon is The Namesake. This is the group book. The live show for this will be on my channel on August 22nd at 8 p.m. EST. Also for the live show, we've invited Sneha and Sant Reads to join us, so if you want to check them out, I'll link them down below. They'll be joining us on there. If you read the book, or if you just want to talk about your Indian Readathon and what you vlogged, where you ate, what music you listened to, just join the live show and just tell us. We'd love to have you there. The Namesake is about this family who previously lived in India and then they immigrate to the United States, and it's about them settling in and acquiring these new customs and learning how to live in a whole different country. As a daughter of immigrant parents, it is so important for me to see myself represented in other literature and reading from those characters, because I didn't get to experience that when I was younger and growing up. I've heard about this book for a while. It's very high praised and a lot of people have actually read it. That's why we chose it for the group book, just so we can make it as inclusive as possible, so it's available if you're listening to it via audiobook or at your library or in a local bookstore. I'm just so excited to read it. I've heard nothing but great things about it. Everything about this book just sounds right up my alley and something I want to immerse myself in. I heard it is a very hard-hitting, heavy book, as the synopsis explains, and I think I just needed to be in the right headspace and the right mind to acquire all that knowledge, and what better week to do that than this week. Next, I have Vanity Bog. Sana actually slid into my DMs and recommended this. I'll link her down below if you want to check her out. She's the only person that slid into my DMs and recommended any suggestions for this readathon, so if you have any suggestions, I and the other hosts would wholeheartedly love to hear them, so just slide in our DMs. It's open to anyone. If you're looking for actual things you can implement and improve this readathon, that would be the most effective way to do it, to actually, you know, look for results. She recommended I read books by Indian Muslim authors, and that was something I was planning to do for this readathon, but then she gave me a whole list of recommendations and I can't thank her enough for it, because now I know all these books are amazing. This book follows a group of characters that live in the little Pakistan of India. In every country there's always like little ethnic group suburbs and places where people of the same ethnic group can understand each other and have their culture in another country, and I think that's just beautiful. For example, in the United States there's Chinatown, Little Italy, and this story takes place of a little Pakistan in India, and it's about a local Dawn group that lives there, and Dawn groups are basically like gangs I think that's the right term to explain it. And it's about the life together of living there. This book just sounds so interesting because I grew up watching Indian movies with dons and gangs and all this stuff happening with a lot of action. So I really hope I enjoy this one. About Vanity Bog, I requested it as an interlibrary loan for my library because my library currently doesn't have it in their system. Interlibrary loans basically mean my library is going to request it from other libraries surrounding the state or the region my library is located in. I absolutely love my library and the fact that they do that. But with that being said, that takes time for them to request it. And as I said, the Indian Readathon has already started and I do not have the book with me. So if I don't read it this month, I will definitely be reading it next month and definitely be getting my hands on it somehow. I just hope so badly that it comes in time because I just really want to read it. The next book I want to read is The Palace of Illusions. I first saw this on Goodreads and first of all, the cover, it looks gorgeous, it looks compelling, it looks like there's something there, something behind it. This is the book that relates to reading a book with Indian mythology. This follows the wife of the Pandava brothers. I grew up listening to the Mahabharata, watching videos about the Mahabharata, and I think the story itself, not even looking at it from a religious aspect, just as a historical aspect, is so beautiful. And I've always admired the wife of the Pandava brothers because she's had to marry all 5 of them, and she does it so willingly, and she's just such a strong female character to go through what she's gone through. I don't want to botch up the Mahabharata in any way, but it's a beautiful story about a tale of brothers and a tale about a kingdom and family and loyalty. This story follows her life as a child and then as she grows up and experiences her story, and I think it's a wonderful book that I can be reading this month. The next book I want to read is Once More Upon a Time by Roshni Chokshi. I have read all of Roshni Chokshi's work. I take that back. I've only read the first Aru Shah book. I don't plan on continuing with the rest of the series. Middle grade really isn't for me anymore, but she's always an author I come back to. She's the first and only author I've ever met, and she was such a gem in real life. I love her so much. This audiobook is very short. It's under 4 hours, so I think I can fly through it. It's available only on Audible, and I usually don't have Audible, but for the last readathon I did, the Reading Rush, I had to get it just so I can read Becoming and Cersei. Because if you're new on this channel, audiobooks aren't for me. Like, I understand they're for other people, but for me, I personally like reading stuff physically. But since this is available only on Audible and I have a free trial anyway, I'm just gonna listen to this. After my free trial, I'm definitely not gonna renew it because my library has an audiobook app, although it's backlisted and not very good. I don't know what this book is about. I know it's about a king and a queen and some fairy tale elements. I just know it's gonna have Roshni Chokshi's humor in it because, oh my gosh, she's lovely. As I said before, I've read all her works and she's such a diverse author and just an author I come back for. Even though all her books aren't like my favorite books of all time, they're still very, very enjoyable. Lastly, the 5th book I want to read, I know I'm literally playing myself saying I'm gonna read 5 books, is Until My Freedom Has Come, the new Infinata on Kashmir. I reached out to different Indian book bloggers to see if they have any recommendations on the current political climate or the socio-economic climate in India currently, and this is one Sant actually recommended to me. Especially right now, being a diaspora kid, it's more than ever important for me to learn about things that are happening back in my own country where I came from. I've always been interested in politics. I'm part of at least 10 internship organizations for the political climate here in the United States, and it's always just been something I prioritized and researched about. So coming at a place of ignorance about the current political climate in India is not something I've been used to, but it's something that I need to learn and educate and be respectful about, and I plan to do that with this book. And I also got so many more recommendations that I also plan to read in the future. I realized how self-centered I guess my politics is, especially being born in the US. We're always like taught to have the United States history surrounding us, and I think that's affected the way I read, and I think it's affected the way and where I get my political information from. So more than ever, it's important for me to be researched and knowledgeable and educated on things happening in India in the past and right now, and understand that I've had the privilege to not be surrounded by this just because my family immigrated here. So I can't wait to read this. Again, it is an interlibrary loan at my library. My library currently doesn't have it, so it is, again, isn't in my hands right now, but I'm hoping that it gets here soon so I can read it. And again, if I don't read it for this readathon, I will be reading it in the future. So those are the 5 books I have decided I'm reading for this readathon. But I also want to tell you about the rest of August. The next book I want to read is Where the Crawdads Sing. This book is a mystery. It follows this girl named Kaya, who's essentially the swamp girl and the outcast of her village, town. It takes place in the 1950s, and I think 8 chapters into it. Yes, I am 58 pages into this book and I'm enjoying it. All I can say is that it's interesting, very interesting. I don't know how I feel about Kaya and the current characters in this book. I'm a character-based reader and that's always like my first thought when I read books, but I'm interested to see where the mystery goes because mysteries my thing. The next book I want to read is A Conversation with Friends by Sally Rooney. I think I hauled this in one of my previous videos. I absolutely loved Sally Rooney's Normal People. She is just an author that did it right in that book, and I hope she does it right in this book. I've heard more high praise for Normal People and much more recognition for that book, and I hope this book is just as good, although Normal People really heightened my expectations in other books, so I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm excited to read this. The next book I want to read is What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. I have read More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera, and then I DNF. They both die at the end, and I just don't think he's an author particularly for me. And then for Becky Albertalli, I read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda. Personally, I like the movie better, so I don't know what that tells you. But I think this book is so cute. It's about these two boys and they move in close to each other. I don't know, there's some moving boxes. I don't know much about it. I know BookTube has probably already read it. I'm doing it in a book club with Troy, Sex Group, and Break Even Books. If you want to join us and read this book, join my live show on this channel on August 30th at this time. I don't know what time. I'm excited to read this. I think it'll be cute. I hope you join us for the live show. The book club members will be linked down below. The next book I plan on reading, but I've actually already read, is by Dark Vanessa. I gave it 3 stars. I can't wait to talk about this in my August wrap-up. I can't believe I'm talking about my August wrap-up when I still haven't filmed my July one. Booktuber of the year right here. It was so important, so gripping, and so blatantly hard to read. My Dark Vanessa is a hard book to describe because I don't want to give anything away, but at the same time I want you to be cautioned before you read this book. Trigger warnings will be listed down below. It talks about her school life with a particular teacher and the relationship she had with him, and then it follows her, I believe, 10 years later when she's 32, and sexual assault allegations have come out of that teacher when Vanessa herself has experienced his sexual abuse as well. And it's about her experience, whether she wants to speak about her past or not, and it's a lot. It really is a lot. As I said before, I read a Goodreads review for it, so if you're interested on my thoughts before my wrap up, it'll be linked down below. I'm super glad I read it, and if you're going into this book thinking it's going to be a good time, it's not, but it's very important, and I'll be talking about this soon. And the last novel I want to read before I get into the graphic novels I want to read is Such a Finage by Kylie Reed. The Unfriendly Back Hotties are reading this book for their book club discussion, so I'll link their channel down below if you want to participate as well. All I know about this book is that it follows a black nanny who is babysitting a white child. One day, the mother of the child calls her very frantically and saying, I need this child out of the house. I need her to go away somewhere just for a little bit, just while we get things solved. So then she goes and takes the child to a local grocery store, and then at the grocery store, she gets accused of kidnapping the child. I think it'll be a very important read on race and the current cultural movement happening right now in the United States. It just sounds like a great book. I've heard nothing but great things about it. And the last 3 books I plan to read for this month are all graphic novels. I have Tilly Walden's book, Are We Listening? I don't know anything about it other than there's 2 characters, a cat and a road. And her artwork and her stories are always just something new. So I can't wait to devour this one. The next book I want to read is Almost American Girl. All I know is it follows this girl who used to live in Korea, and then she immigrates with her family to Alabama, and it's about her life adjusting. The illustrations are gorgeous for it. I think it's gonna be important. I think it's gonna be heart-wrenching, and I can't wait to feel something. The last graphic novel I want to read is Go With The Flow. It's about a group of girls right here. Did I point to them? Yes. Right here, and it's about them retaliating against their school administration. Their administration values football and sports above women's health, and it's about them making a statement about the menstruation revolution, and I think it's gonna be such a wholesome time. It really reminds me of Moxie right here. I thought that book was such a powerful read at the time I read it, so I can't wait to read this one. It just seems so lovely. Those are all the books I planned for August. Tell me if you've read any of these. Tell me if you're planning on reading any of them. Tell me what other books you plan on reading. I hope you enjoyed my TBR video. I have so many more videos coming up. I have my July wrap-up that I need to film still. I have a live updates video. I have a graphic novel recommendations video because I've been asked so many times to give my favorite graphic novels. It's all coming, so I hope you stay. I hope you subscribe. Thank you again for participating in this readathon. Bye guys!